So let's talk about the F word. The F word has been used by a lot of us in recent history and in ministry. The F word. I think a lot of pastors use the F word. We all use the F word. We use the F word a lot. The F word can get us in favor. The F word is favor. The F word is favor. Favor, favor, favor. The F word. Favor. The F word. Do not mistake being out of season for out of favor. Do not mistake being out of season for out of favor. Being out of season means that God is using isolation, God is using turmoil, God is using challenges to strengthen and retrain your mind. We think we know how to deal with disappointment because we have matured in our 20s beyond what we were in our teens. We think we know how to deal with tough situations because we have matured in our 20s as opposed to how we were in our teens. There's a new level to get to once you get to in your 30s. There's a new level to get to once you get to your 40s. Each decade there's a new level to attain. So, not because a specific group of people have not accepted you, it doesn't mean that there is a void of favor in your life. Do not mistake being out of season for being out of favor. Out of season mean that there are going to be specific people that you want to favor you or you want to look at you in high regard and they're not going to. You're out of season, you're not out of favor. It means that there is a turning to come. There is a shifting of the wheel to come. Because once you're out of season, you must get back in season. The fig tree is a perfect example of something that was out of season. It was out of season. However, when they came back a week later, when it was expected to bear, it was dead. You won't have favor with every man. You will not have favor with every man. You won't have favor with every person. Jesus Christ grew in stature and favor. He didn't have favor with every single human being. He had favor with a select few people. He didn't have favor with everybody. So he grew in stature and he grew in favor. As a boy, he was studying the scriptures and studying the gospels and trying to become a better version of himself. You understand? So the thing is that he grew in stature and he grew in favor, but he didn't grow in acceptance of everyone. Not everybody favored him. So not everybody. If Jesus was not favored by everyone, in 1 John he told us that in this world we will face trouble, that do not be surprised if the world hates us. I believe that is 1 John chapter 8 verse 13. So you will not have favor with every man. Remember that. Point 3. Bartimaeus said, "Have mercy on me, son of David. Have mercy on me, son of David." Right? It was a cry of anguish. This was in Luke chapter 18, verse 38 to 41. And he cried out saying, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me." He cried out saying, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Notice what he said. Yes? And this was enough to bring his healing. Bartimaeus was a blind man that was not asking for healing. He was not asking for restoration of sight. He was simply asking for mercy. Because he understood that if he has mercy, mercy will restore him. If he has mercy, mercy will bring favor. Bartimaeus went to the temple every day and begged, and none of the church leaders felt it within themselves to bless him. None of them felt it within themselves to help him. Perhaps they felt that they never had access to that supernatural power. They too had the ability to heal him. Jesus, from those times, till now was saying to the disciples, anyone who believes in me, truly believes in me, they will do the works that I am doing. And in fact, he even said, greater works than this will they do. So I'm thinking to myself, these are church leaders that are seeing Bartimaeus every day, but they could do nothing within their capabilities to help with his rising, because they were believing in God the Father but rejecting the Son. Believing in God the Father and rejecting the Son means a void of supernatural possibilities. They had no inclination within themselves that this is something that they had access to do, that they had the power to give this man his rising. It wasn't even a part of their psyche. They didn't even think it possible that they could help Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus, being a spiritual man, Bartimaeus recognizing Jesus Christ as the son of David as opposed to the son of Joseph. Recognizing Jesus Christ as the son of David as opposed to the son of Mary. Recognizing Jesus Christ as the son of David as opposed to healer is quite critical to this point, because Bartimaeus is recognizing the need for favor. Bartimaeus knew he was not just a man that was stretched out and begging for healing. He was a man that emotionally was disturbed. He was a man that was going through a revelation that there is nobody trying to assist in the ways that he needed assistance. So Bartimaeus, like the spiritual man he is, did not recognize that he needed sight. Bartimaeus said, I need mercy. Have mercy on me, because without mercy there is no favor. Without mercy there is no favor. Point 4. People will make all sorts of excuses not to help you, not to bless you when there's no favor in your life. So there's a difference when you have no favor, when you lack favor, and there's a difference when you're out of season. Being out of season, remember, that was the first thing that we said. Do not mistake being out of season for being out of favor. When you're out of season, it means that there is a specific group of people that is rejecting you. When you're out of favor, it's almost like everything is fighting you. And the number one thing that is fighting you when you're out of favor is you're fighting yourself. There is a stench on a man that has no favor. There is a look to him. There is a way in which he carries himself that it annoys people. It brings annoyance, and no man looks upon him with favor in his heart, with compassion. Favor is compliant with compassion. Favor, this is coming straight from the Holy Spirit, write it down. Favor is compliant with compassion. Favor is compliant with compassion. When you look upon someone and you have compassion for them, it opens the grace of favor. People will make all sorts of excuses not to help or extend their resources when you are out of favor. The grace of strength, point 5. The grace of strength. Every believer must go through what we call the becoming phase. Every believer must go through a phase where he is strengthened by Christ. Paul says, it is in my weaknesses that I will rejoice. I will glorify in my weaknesses, because it is in my weaknesses Christ is made strong. Every believer must go through a stage in life where the grace of strength is made applicable unto him. The grace of strength is a diverse grace. It is not just one particular type of strength. The grace of strength provides sustainable wellness in the mind. There's several things that will challenge the believer, but his mind remains intact. The grace of strength allows the believer to take physical wellness very seriously. The believer is more conscious about what he puts in his body, what he puts in his mind, and the increase at which he mobilizes his body, he physically works out his body. So the grace of strength will be given unto you through the becoming phase, the phase where Christ is developing the picture in the dark room. The grace of strength must be given unto you, because you cannot be a weak believer. Moses, despite being 80 years old, was called to lead the younger people, because the Bible said he had the strength of a 40-year-old man. The grace of strength is given to every believer to do the work of God, because there's a lot of work to be done in the kingdom that requires physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual development. So the man of God is the true complete soldier. A soldier at war is complete to do physical things. The higher up the rank is, that soldier is more capable with mental capabilities. He's more inept and he's more proficient at mental and emotional and psychological capabilities. So the higher the rank of the soldier, the intangibles are at a higher propensity. In the kingdom of God, us soldiers are complete. We're complete for every form of battle. We're complete with hands, we're complete with mind, we're complete with spirit, body, soul. So it is a never-ending thing. How we respond to boredom dictates a victory for the kingdom of darkness or a victory for the kingdom of light. We respond to boredom by idleness and giving unto the kingdom of darkness with thought, word, or deed, or we respond to boredom with development. So the grace of strength was point number 5, given to every believer to affirm his faith, to keep him going, to encourage others optically because they're seeing you as an example, and also to do it otherwise. Point 6, the joy of independence. This is a result of the grace of strength, the joy of independence. Christ has strengthened you through a period of isolation, through a period of loneliness, through a period of separation. You have now learned to depend on only Christ for your emotional needs, which is the most critical part. That's the most critical part of every human being. To be emotionally independent. Many of us find ourselves in the wrong crowds simply because we're not emotionally strong. We want to be around people. That's a natural response. But to have a desire to be around God more than people, to have a desire to be close to God in prayer as opposed to share your issues with men and to gossip with men and to seek counsel from men. These things weaken the spirit. These things weaken man. So the joy of independence is a fruit of the grace of strength. The joy of independence comes and it strengthens man. Man realizes that he has become his best self simply by becoming dependent on God, which in turn makes him an independent vessel, a strong vessel, a vessel that is now a tree planted by a river of water that can now provide fruit in every season. The season of mobility. Point number 7 and last. That is what all of that equates to. Everything climaxes on the season of mobility. The isolation that God was doing the work in you. That isolation where you realized that you needed favor, you needed mercy. The isolation caused you to be honest with yourself about your weaknesses, your flaws, the things that you could have done better. And it leads to a grace of strength, the development. But then the grace of strength provides the joy of independence. Independence provides a joy that dependence can never give you. Even countries know that. Independent countries might not be rich as some dependent countries, but their joy is so obvious. Their joy is unmistakable. Because there is joy when you know that something is yours. There's a joy that can only come from ownership. My cousin Dwayne was telling me that when I was a younger man. He was telling me, Mario, he said, there is peace in ownership. There's peace in ownership. Independence provides a joy. When a man is independent, because he was strengthened through his weaknesses, the joy of independence becomes the fruit. The F word.